Part 64. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 632. And at this moment. In a star field. Orange Source Eternal Realm, Tianyuan Star Realm. In Demon Emperor Mountain, a group of venerables were all wondering as they walked towards the main hall. A big black dog can save the Demon Emperor? This is too outrageous. Peng Zhenyi said, is that big black dog stronger than the Demon Emperor? Where can there be such a dog in the world? That's right, I feel like the descendants of the Demon Emperor are not very reliable. Brother Suichi, is that Senior Luan Yan's words trustworthy? Many venerables couldn't help but ask Go-Suke questions. Go-Suke shook his head and said, Senior Go Luanyan is the only direct descendant of the Demon Emperor in our Demon Emperor clan. Only this old man can listen to the Demon Emperor's orders, and they won't be wrong. Seeing that Go-Suke was so sure, the other sages could only nod their heads and immediately began to think seriously. They have already entered the main hall. Ao Wushuan and Lu Kaling were waiting. Now it seems that we have to find the big black dog first before we can save the Demon Emperor. Long Tianbo thought and said. But there are countless black dogs in this world, ordinary black dogs should be useless. Peng Zhenyi also said. Yes, this big black dog must be extremely extraordinary. In fact, the big black dog should have some kind of relationship with the Demon Emperor, maybe he is a blood relative of the Demon Emperor. The Bull Demon King thought. This big black dog must be related to the Demon Emperor. Brother Suichi, think about it carefully. Did the Demon Emperor have any interactions with any big black dog before he left the world? Go-Suke immediately started thinking hard. At this moment, Ao Wushuan listened to a group of sages discussing how to find the big black dog. He was immediately confused. Could it be that the big black dog that these people are looking for is the one from the small mountain village? Are they crazy? He felt that something was wrong, he subconsciously retreated. At this moment, Go-Suke suddenly said loudly. I remembered. The Demon Emperor once had a romantic affair when he was young. At that time, he fell in love with a black princess. It's just that the black princess died later. A bold idea flashed through his mind and he said. Could it be that the black princess from the past gave birth to an heir for the Demon Emperor? The big black dog the Demon Emperor asked us to find might be the Emperor's son. As soon as this statement came out, everyone was shocked. Emperor, it's not impossible. Isn't this too suspenseful? Outrageous. Many venerables looked at each other and felt that it was unbelievable. This imagination was too big. But Go-Suke became more and more excited as he thought about it, saying, it must be so. Everyone, because among the imperial arts left behind by the Demon Emperor, there is an emperor's art called the art of blood induction. That kind of blood drawing technique can bring back the emperor. And if you want to use the blood drawing technique, you need at least the blood of the emperor or the blood of a close relative. Think about it, the Demon Emperor asked us to rescue him and come back. This is the only technique we have, and the Demon Emperor also mentioned the big black dog. He must be telling us that the big black dog is his bloodline descendant, and the blood of the big black dog can save the Demon Emperor from returning. He is extremely sure. At this moment, he felt that he had completely figured it out and understood the profound meaning of the Demon Emperor's words. Fortunately, I usually like to read some unofficial history and know the romantic affairs of the Demon Emperor when he was young. Otherwise, even if I think about it, I can't think of it. Hearing this, many venerables are unconscious. I feel like this. Peng Zhenyi nodded. It makes sense. Since the Demon Emperor needs us to save him, it means that he is trapped in an extremely difficult place, and the legendary blood drawing technique can indeed transcend time and space. Lu Quandui also affirmed. He mentioned finding a big black dog to save him, and his intention couldn't be more obvious. For a time, all the venerables reached a consensus. The big black dog the demon emperor is looking for is probably the demon emperor's posthumous son. This is the only explanation. In the field, Xuanhuan was shocked when he listened to the analysis of this group of venerables. Even he somewhat believed what these venerables said. The analysis is so real, so logical, well argued, and perfectly logical. That dog is actually the descendant of a generation of demon emperors. No wonder, so cruel, so terrifying, so evil. However, there was still a trace of doubt in his mind. He vaguely felt that the emperor didn't seem very impressive. Could he give birth to a big black dog? Not right, simply not right. However, when he was thinking, a clear and beautiful voice sounded. Grandpa Niu, you are looking for the big black dog. I may have seen it. Lu Kaling spoke with some anxiety. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that what many venerables were looking for was probably that dog. Moreover, that big black dog seems to like to call himself the emperor. Now it seems that the big black dog really may not be bragging, and has something to do with the demon emperor. Thinking of this, her heart was pounding. She had actually dealt with the descendant of the demon emperor, the big black dog. Upon hearing this, many of the venerables present were startled, and their eyes all fell on her. What? Have you seen it? Real or fake? Lu Quandui even said, Cai Ling girl, you can't talk nonsense. Lu Kaling thought for a while and said, I have really seen a big black dog. That big black dog often calls himself the emperor. It is very unnatural. If you don't believe me, ask Xuanhuan. All the venerables looked at Xuanhuan again. Oh? Xuanhuan, have you seen that dog too? The bull demon king also asked questions. Xuanhuan suddenly became nervous. When he mentioned the dog, he was a little scared and said, I have indeed seen that dog. It is very scary and evil. It even killed the venerable. Xuanhuan spoke truthfully. Hearing this, many of the venerable people present were overjoyed. You actually killed the venerable. To have such a brilliant record, he is worthy of being a descendant of the demon emperor. It must be, it must be. After hearing what Xuanhuan said, Lu Quandian and others were instantly convinced. Being able to kill the venerable shows that this big black dog's status is high enough. Only the emperor's son has this ability. When Xuanhuan saw this, he said uneasily, I suggest you not to provoke that dog, something will happen. Xuanhuan is not sure whether the big black dog is the emperor's son, but he knows one thing, that small mountain village can run as far as it goes. You are a little true god, what do you know? But Gosuke spoke directly and said, lead the way, we will go to welcome the emperor's son back. His face was full of enthusiasm, as if he had seen a bright future. If the emperor's son returns and leads the demon emperor, our demon world will be prosperous. Yes, when the time comes, all the Brahma court and the divine realm will be killed. The emperor's son, my demon tribe hopes. For a time, many venerables were also full of expectations. When Xuanhuan saw this, he struggled internally for a long time. Damn, these venerables are so sure, so let's take a gamble. If that big black dog is really the emperor's son of the demon clan, this time, I can really hug the emperor's lap. I hope these venerables will not trick themselves. My lords, come with me. I'll lead the way for you. He fought hard. Many venerables also nodded and prepared to stand up. But at this time, the bull demon king suddenly spoke and said, wait a minute. Brother Suichi, I remember that your clan has 2 ancestral demon stone tokens, right? The spirit collecting girl is collecting the ancestral demon stone tokens. Now, she has found clues to the demon emperor's descendants. Lao Niu is so shameless that he asks for these 2 stone tokens for her. Isn't that too much? The Bull Demon King was thoughtful and took the opportunity to speak for Lu Kailing. When Lu Kailing heard this, he also looked at Go-Suke with concern. When Go-Suke heard this, he couldn't help but look at Lu Kailing and said, "Ancestral Demon Stone Token. It is indeed in the hands of our clan, but even if we gather all the Ancestral Demon Stone Tokens, it will be useless. There is no harm in giving it to her." Immediately, he ordered someone to bring the Ancestral Demon Stone Token and give it to the Bull Demon King. The Bull Demon King himself also took out a piece. A total of 3 yuan was handed to Lu Kailing. Lu Kailing took it excitedly. Now, the 7 Ancestral Demon Stone Tokens have been gathered. She couldn't help but take out the rest of the Ancestral Demon Stone Tokens. Pieced together, they form a complete stone wall. On the stone wall, vaguely, there is a line of small words. "Swim a stream to the cloud here." This is the word that will appear after the Ancestral Demon Stone Order is unified. Young spirit collecting girl, we have gathered all these stone tokens, but they are unable to activate the power of the Ancestral Demon at all and cannot save the monkey. The Bull Demon King sighed slightly. It knew that the Ancestral Demon Stone Order was useless and helped Lu Kailing, but it just couldn't bear Lu Kailing running around. However, Lu Kailing shook her head and said firmly, "I will definitely find a way." Lu Quandian, on the other hand, had already opened his mouth and said, "Welcome the Emperor's return without further delay. Everyone, let's set off." Immediately, many venerables set off with Xuanhuan. The next day, the sun is shining in the small mountain village. It is early morning. Li Fan woke up and felt the softness in his waist. He reached out and stroked Xiaobai. Xiaobai slept soundly, with his head resting on Li Fan's waist. "Little greedy cat, wake up." Xiaobai woke up, meowed, and licked Li Fan's palm affectionately. He walked out of the room and finished washing up under the waiters of Subakian and other disciples. Under the early morning sun, Yongzi was doing morning exercises. Her posture was elegant and graceful, and she was extremely beautiful. Now, she is the only one who is completely familiar with the 3 sets of radio gymnastics. Li Fan couldn't help but nodded. Yongzi learned very quickly. "Master, we really don't have much meat left." At this time, Gong Ya came over and said, "I think it will last for a day or 2. When Li Fan heard this, he suddenly became worried. "Why is there no meat again? How are you going to live this day? Going vegetarian again?" He thought for a while, gritted his teeth and said, "Take out all the meat and have a good meal today. I'll take you to a picnic and eat hot pot. Before living a hard life, let's have some fun first and have a full meal before talking about it." Hearing this, all the disciples in the small courtyard were extremely happy. Eating hot pot. Great, it must be delicious. I'm going to clean up the iron pot. Soon, everyone packed their things, and Gong Ya took out the remaining 5 or 6 kilograms of meat from the Gia cold box, and also brought potatoes and so on. "Let's go." Li Fan spoke. And at this moment, countless venerables, across the galaxy. "My lords, the 49th star region is ahead of us." Xuanhuan led a group of venerables, but they were extremely worried at this moment and said, "Lao Ao would like to confirm again. Dear lords, is that big black dog really a descendant of the demon emperor? He always feels uneasy. Little true god, are you qualified to ask these questions?" Lu Quanzuo spoke coldly. But Go-Suke smiled. He was so happy that he patted Xuanhuan on the shoulder and said, "Xiao Ao, you are a promising young man. It is good to be cautious, but you don't have to worry about this. That big black dog you know is definitely the descendant of the demon emperor." Hearing this, Xuanhuan gritted his teeth and said, "Good." He worked hard and immediately led the way. Good night. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 633. Western Heaven, Brahma Palace. The endless Brahma land seems to always be shining with the golden light of compassion, illuminating all living beings. In the Brahma land, somewhere in a secret realm, there is a huge mountain. The mountains are like 5 fingers, as if they contain endless secret power. Looking from a distance, on the highest peak of Wuzi mountain, there are 6 Brahma characters shining with thousands of golden lights. Om, Ma, Ni, Ba, Mi, Hum. This is the famous 5 Elements mountain of Brahma sect. The surrounding area of 5 Elements mountain is desolate. At the bottom of 5 Elements mountain, there is a monkey pressed down. The monkey's body was suppressed at the foot of the mountain. Only a monkey's head and 2 arms were exposed, as if it had been here for countless years. The hair was growing like crazy, and fallen leaves were rustling on the head. Peaches in front of mountains have been ripened thousands of times, thousands of years have passed, why hasn't the master come yet? The monkey scratched his face with his hands, seeming impatient. The bleak cold wind blew by, and the monkey sighed and whispered, "My grandson is just an imitator after all. The story has ended. Maybe no bald man will come here to save me." There seemed to be a trace of deep loss in its monkey eyes. Suddenly, it seemed to notice something, all 6 ears appeared in an instant, and it raised its eyes and looked forward. "Master Fanzu, are you here to bring food and drink to your grandpa Xuanhuan?" The monkey spoke. As his voice fell, a lotus platform suddenly appeared in the space in front of him. The 12-grade golden lotus platform is sacred and supreme. Brahma Patriarch sits cross-legged on the terrace, compassionate and solemn, with Brahma light emitting, like the savior of all eternities. On both sides of Brahma Patriarch, stood 2 little bald boys, each holding a jade bottle. In the years when Xuanhuan was pressed under the 5 Elements mountain, every 500 years, the Vatican would send people to bring copper juice and iron juice for Xuanhuan to take. Those copper juices and iron juices can extend the life of Xuanhuan. Of course, the body of Xuanhuan is also constantly weakened and mutilated. Brahma ancestor looked at the monkey at the foot of the mountain calmly and said, "Should I call you Xuanhuan, or should I call you Lu Shushi?" Lu Shushi was the monkey's real name, and Xuanhuan called himself later. Xuanhuan said, "You can call me Grandpa." Brahma Patriarch's face was indifferent, calm, and unchanging, and said calmly, "After being suppressed for so many years, drinking copper juice and iron juice, it seems that your temper has not changed yet." Xuanhuan said, "Vatican ancestor, stop being so pretentious and tell me what kind of conspiracy you have." Patriarch Brahma sighed softly and said, "Monkey, the Brahma gate is compassionate. I want to save you and become a Buddha. You are so talented, I really appreciate your talent. As long as you devoutly take refuge in me, I will give you the supreme opportunity to not only relieve you from the pressure of the 5 Elements mountain, but also to lead you to cross the imperial barrier. How about it?" His face was filled with solemn compassion, and his words were filled with a majesty that did not tolerate questioning. However, Xuanhuan burst out laughing, his voice shaking the leaves all over the mountain. "Brother Brahma, don't show any false mercy. Do you really think that my eyes can't see the blood on your 12-grade lotus platform? You deserve to be put in the frying pan more than those evil ghosts in the dead lands." Xuanhuan was extremely sarcastic. Hearing this, Patriarch Brahma seemed to be full of disappointment. He sighed slightly, remained silent, and stared at the 6-eared macaque for a long time before suddenly saying, "The 6-eared macaque clan has a great history. In the ancient era of disaster, the monkey god, one of the 10 spirits, was stained by the strange grey mist and turned into a stone statue." He said word by word, "As far as I know, the stone statue is guarded by the 6-eared macaque clan, and you are the 7213th generation guardian, right?" Hearing this, the monkey at the foot of Five Elements Mountain had a light flash in his eyes. It looked at Brahma ancestor and said ferociously, "How did you know?" At this moment, Zhezing Sun actually seemed to be trembling. Because of anger, because of thinking of a certain past event. The six-eared macaque clan was born between heaven and earth. Since ancient times, an extremely important task has been to protect a stone statue. That was, one of the 10 spirits of the ancient disaster era, a stone statue of a heaven-defying monkey. In the ancestral teachings passed down by the elders of the six-eared macaque tribe, the divine monkey once looked down the years with great power and said that one day it would return and fight against the heavens again. The six-eared macaque tribe has been guarding the stone statue of the divine monkey, waiting for that day to come. This is a secret. A secret that only the six-eared macaque clan knows. However, tens of thousands of years ago, the six-eared macaque tribe suffered a catastrophe. An extremely powerful being broke through the ancestral palace of the six-eared macaque clan and approached the top secret place of the six-eared macaque clan to snatch the stone statue. In that battle, the six-eared macaque clan lost all its venerable members, and the entire clan was almost too suppressed to lift its head, and was on the verge of extinction. At that time, it was Zhezing Sun, who suppressed that catastrophe and killed that powerful existence through some indescribable method. However, when Zhezing Sun killed that being, he discovered that the powerful being was actually just a clone. In that battle, the six-eared macaque tribe suffered heavy casualties. Zhezing Sun's biological daughter even sacrificed her life. After that battle, Zhezing Sun rose against the sky and became the most dazzling existence in the demon world since ancient times. Before he became the emperor, he was already invincible and created those shocking events. Established Huaguo Mountain, refined the East China Sea's Dingai divine needle into an iron rod, stepped through the sky, and struck the 33rd heaven of the god's domain trembling. It all started with the catastrophe of the six-eared macaque. Only Zhezing Sun himself knew that the reason why he fought all over the world was not only imitating the story he had heard, but also looking for the enemy. The enemy who severely damaged the six-eared macaque tribe and even caused him to lose his daughter. He could never forget that mysterious existence, shrouded in divine light, stepping on the bodies of his people. He even took the initiative to provoke a war between demons and gods for revenge. Because the enemy's aura came from the imperial court, and the magical power displayed was also the magical power of the imperial court. However, in the battle between demons and gods, he fell into the sand and was suppressed by Brahma ancestor at the foot of Five Elements Mountain. Zhezing Sun has always felt that the strong man who slaughtered countless six-eared macaques in the past came from the imperial court. But now, Brahma actually also knows the secret of the six-eared macaque clan. Zhezing Sun's heart was filled with turmoil and suspicion. Only those who know the secret of the six-eared macaque clan's top secret place, can cause the massacre of the past. At this moment, Brahma ancestor smiled. The yellow smoke rises, and the beacon fire calms down, reincarnation comes out, and ghosts wander in the sky, come back, and fight all over the world. Brahma ancestor opened his mouth leisurely and said, "These are the last words left by that divine monkey. Do you know that its last words have now been fulfilled? Just a few days ago, reincarnation started again, and now there are no more ghosts among the ghosts." Hearing this, Zhezing Sun was even more shocked and his pupils shrank. Reincarnation again? Could it be that, in this era, the six-eared macaque clan can finally wait until the return of the divine monkey? At the same time, doubts became more and more intense in Zhezing Sun's heart. He raised his eyes, stared at Brahma Patriarch, and shouted, "Old bald donkey, were you the one who attacked our clan's top secret place and caused endless massacres?" Its voice was ferocious and full of rage. Brahma ancestor knew too much, which aroused Zhezing Sun's suspicion. Patriarch Brahma sighed slightly and said, "I'm sorry for what happened back then. I'm sorry that I didn't kill you, but instead allowed you to rise against the odds. He had no intention of hiding it. He looked at Zhezing and said, "To this day, I am still very curious, how did you destroy my clone in the past?" He admitted it. At this moment, Zhezing eyes were filled with rage. His steel teeth were almost crushed into pieces. The tendons all over his body protruded and he struggled violently, almost as if he was about to come out from under the Five Elements mountain. "It turns out to be you, it turns out to be you. Master Brahma, I, Lushushi, will never give up until I kill you 1,000 times." The entire Five Elements mountain was shaking with Zhezing struggle. However, Brahma ancestor just raised his hand indifferently. On the Five Elements mountain, the 6 characters of Brahma light emitted. Om, Ma, Ni, Ba, Me, Hum. Even though Zhezing was full of anger, he could only be suppressed at this moment. There was blood at the corners of its mouth, and the anger and hatred in its eyes were extremely strong. Brahma ancestor sighed slightly and said, "I didn't intend to let you know this secret. It's a pity that when I came out of reincarnation, I passed by me and couldn't stay in reincarnation. The stone statue of the monkey is my only chance." He looked at Zhezing and said, "Tell me, after that battle, where did you hide the top secret place? Say it, and I'll give you a chance to fight with me. How about that? Don't you want to kill me? Do you want revenge? A secret, in exchange for a chance to kill me, is fair." He spoke indifferently. Zhezing eyes were filled with killing intent, and he was gnashing his teeth. He wished he could fight. However, it took a deep breath and said, "Old Brahma Patriarch, I, the grandson of Seeing, will never be fooled by you again. In the past, your clone pretended to be a strong man in the divine court and made me launch a war against the divine realm. In the end, you benefited. This time, don't even think about it. A top secret place, you'll never know where it is." Hearing this, Patriarch Brahma couldn't help feeling a little regretful and said, "Really? Don't you even care about your daughter?" He flicked his fingers. Suddenly, an ice coffin appeared in the field. Inside the ice coffin was a young girl. She is wearing a golden dress, her facial features are delicate and beautiful, and her 6 crystal ears are small and cute. The girl seemed to be sleeping soundly, her eyes were closed tightly, her hands were folded on her chest, and there seemed to be a trace of blood that had not yet dried up on her right wrist. Seeing this girl, Zhezing was immediately stunned. Its eyes were filled with shock, anger, and indignation. "My daughter's body, Mr. Brahma, you are despicable and shameless." Zhezing trembled and roared. During the war, his daughter died, but he used great magic power to preserve his daughter's body, because he always felt that his daughter was still alive and would wake up one day. His daughter was obviously protected by the strongest sages in the clan, so why did she fall into the hands of the Brahma court? When Brahmazu saw Zhezing anger, a satisfied smile appeared in his eyes. "Tell me, where is the top secret place of the 6-eared macaque clan? Where is the stone statue of the monkey? Otherwise, I will let all the animals in the world enjoy your daughter's body in front of you. Don't forget, her body is not dead yet, there is still life." Brahma ancestor's face was full of expectation and he said, "Isn't it a pity that such a beautiful carcass should be used for the enjoyment of dirty and smelly livestock in the world?" Zhezing seemed to tremble all over after hearing this. He looked at the girl in the coffin, tears welling up in his eyes and gnashing his teeth. And at this moment, the 49th star field. Xuanhuan led several venerables along the way. Ahead is the Great Ruins realm. Cold sweat couldn't help but break down on Xuanhuan's face. Are we going to see that evil little mountain village and those evil people again? Xuanhuan, don't be afraid, it should be fine this time. Lu Kaling seemed to notice Xuanhuan's nervousness and couldn't help but gently hold his hand. Ao Wushuan looked down and found that there was a line of blood as red as blood on Liu Keiling's right wrist. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 634. In the Great Ruins Realm, outside the great wilderness of the Burial God, Li Fan led a group of disciples out of the small mountain village. Stepping into the mountains and fields, the scenery is pleasant and the air is fresh. They found a valley with gurgling streams and green grass. In an open space, everyone put down everything they brought. Xuanhuan, Zhongli, go pick up some firewood and prepare to light a fire. Xianning, go help Gongya peel the potatoes. When Li Fan opened his mouth, everyone immediately began to cooperate in an orderly manner. It's been a long time since we had a picnic, and everyone was quite excited. Master, there seems to be fish in this stream. Lu Rang spotted the fish shadow in the creek and immediately said to Long Zixuan. Junior brother Zixuan, come on, catching fish is your strong point. Long Zixuan also stepped forward and caught several plump wild fish. Even Nanfan, Yungzi, and others came over curiously to catch fish together. Even the big black dog ran to the creek, slapped his big paw, and knocked out a few small herrings. Then he ran to Xiaobai, wagging his tail, and barking at the few small herrings, as if he was taking credit. The little white cat raised its little paws and touched the big black dog's head, then walked over, picked out a small herring, ran to Li Fan with it in its mouth, placed it in front of Li Fan, and meowed. Li Fan smiled, this greedy little cat still likes to eat fish. Okay, I'll make you a fish first and wait. At this moment, the fire was burning and the oil pan was ready. Li Fan fried the fish for Xiaobai, and Xiaobai ate it deliciously. Sister Xining, let me peel the potatoes for you. Tianling ran to Xianning to show her courtesy. On the other side, the small animals brought by the disciples were also playing. The little unicorn and the little Sirius were playing, the little red bird was flying around, and when it was tired, it stopped on the horns of the little golden bull to rest. The little turtle was basking in the sun slowly, drying its shell and belly, and the Pegasus was having fun, running in and out. The clearing was filled with laughter and laughter. Soon, the disciples caught a lot of fish, removed the internal organs and scales, washed them and prepared them for cooking. Other meat, potatoes, tofu, etc. were also prepared. The hot pot is for cooking and eating at the same time. Everyone, please sit over here. Li Fan smiled and spoke, and a group of disciples sat around. Put the potatoes first. Potatoes are the soul of the pan. Li Fan poured a plate of potatoes into the pan, poured oil on it, and continued. Then you can add meat, tofu, and other things. Immediately, everyone started to take action. Master, I want to bake tofu. Rura, eat rura. Fish, meat, tofu, etc. are also put into the pot. There's nothing that can't be roasted in a frying pan. Li Fan made the chili noodles by himself and said. The soul of the hot pot is the chili noodles. If the chili noodles are delicious, the hot pot is half of it. Come on, let's eat. Immediately, everyone started to feast. Li Fan couldn't help but nod his head as he ate. It was really a pleasure to eat hot pot in the valley with the gurgling mountain stream. The only flaw is, there's a little bit of meat. And at this moment, Ao Wushuan has led a group of venerables into the Great Ruins realm. This is actually the Xuanhuan Hengzhi. Incredible, I feel that the level of this everlasting realm is actually stronger than that of the Tianyuan star realm. The orange origin is already extremely rich. I feel that in a few hundred years, it might evolve into the Huangyuan Hengzhi. Many venerables were surprised. But Go Suka's eyes were even more overjoyed. It is indeed the Emperor's son who chose this extraordinary star realm as his place to live. Quick, let's go find the Emperor. I can't wait any longer. Their speed was very fast, and soon they landed outside the god burial wasteland. My dear lords, I really want to confirm it again, are you sure? Xuanhuan couldn't help asking again and said. Is that big black dog really the son of the demon emperor? As he got closer and closer to the small mountain village, he felt that something was getting more and more wrong. And, are you seeking death by questioning me again and again? Lu Quandui's face turned cold. Lead the way, if you dare to make any noise again, don't blame me for being merciless. Peng Zhenyi's was also impatient. Go Suka smiled and said. Little true god, you really don't have any knowledge. Look, the vast wilderness in front of you has unparalleled richness of the origin of heavenly Dao. This is obviously the training ground prepared by the demon emperor for his son. If we enter it, we will definitely find the emperor's son. Let's go. Immediately, they entered the god burial wasteland. Go all the way. And at this moment, in the small valley, Li Fan and others had already eaten half of their meal. The most popular thing is the meat, which is almost finished. Everyone is still unsatisfied. Damn dog, otherwise, you go to the mountains to get some prey. Wu Date felt that he was only half full and said to the big black dog. The big black dog was eating, and the voice message said. Ignorant human pet, all the ferocious beasts around here have escaped long ago, where can I find them? As he spoke, his dog ears suddenly stood up, as if he had noticed something. There really are prey, human pet, let's go, I'll take you hunting. The big black dog turned and ran away. Where is Dehe going? Everyone is confused and asking questions. Master, Dehe smells the scent of prey, I'll go for a moment. Wu Date immediately ran out with the big black dog. When everyone saw this, they all laughed. The big black nose is so clever. I hope Dehe will come over more. Just right, I haven't eaten enough yet. Everyone is looking forward to it. Li Fan was also a little happy. This big black is a good hunting dog. Now, Xuanhuan led a group of venerables and went deeper and deeper. Every step he took, Xuanhuan felt tortured. Worried, very worried. Huh? A king-level being is approaching. At this time, Gosuke suddenly spoke. Many venerables stopped. The next moment, a black shadow flashed in the forest ahead. A big black dog appears. Behind the big black dog, there was also a panting fat man. The fat man was pulling the big black dog's tail, as if he was being dragged here. Seeing the man and the dog, Xuanhuan suddenly broke into a cold sweat and retreated involuntarily. At the same time, he sent a message to Gosuke and said, Sir, this is the dog. When Gosuke heard this, his eyes immediately focused on the big black dog. Peng Zhenyi's, Long Tianbo, Lu Quandui, Ao Deasi and the Bull Demon King also looked at the big black dog. Opposite, the big black dog and Wu Date had just appeared, but when they saw such a group of people, the big black dog was stunned. Wow, damn, you are so sloppy, a group of venerables. The big black dog suddenly became frightened. Its current strength has not yet returned to the level of the venerable. When Wu Date heard this, he was also startled. This is a group of venerables? This damn dog is so unreliable. It actually treats the venerable as its prey. This is a deceptive rhythm. But at this time, Gosuke on the opposite side stood up, faced the big black dog, his eyes were extremely eager, and said, Greetings to the Emperor. My Majesty, Gosuke, the venerable demon emperor clan, would like to welcome the emperor's son back to his clan. Several other venerables also saluted directly and said, Welcome the emperor. Wu Date was stunned. What is going on? Damn dog, this this is the person your father sent to find you?" he asked. But the big black dog came over with one paw, causing Wu Date to stagger. The eyes of the big black dog were full of anger. He stared at the group of venerables and said, "Where did you beasts come from? Grandpa Xuanhuan is here to entertain you." Hearing this, Go-Suke was startled. This emperor's son didn't know his identity. However, he thought for a moment and then understood. I am sure that the demon emperor has never told this big black dog about his life experience. He immediately said hurriedly, "Master Black Dog, don't you know? Your father is the demon emperor of our Tengu clan. Your mother is the black princess of the Black Wind Dog clan. You are the emperor of our clan, and we are here to welcome you." That attitude is sincere. After hearing this, the big black dog was stunned. Is there something wrong with this group of people? Oh my God, this damn dog was really sent by your father and your mother. Wu Date couldn't help but speak. However, the big black dog became angry and slapped Wu Date away with another paw, saying, "Woof woof woof. What kind of bullshit demon emperor? Are those Dalmatians in the world worthy of being called Tengu? Damn it, you dare to take advantage of me. I'll shoot you to death." Dehe was angry, and when he raised his claw, a huge black claw suddenly formed in the void, pressing towards many venerables. Go-Suke and others were shocked when they saw this. The emperor actually doesn't recognize his identity and is disrespectful to the demon emperor. What's going on? Lu Quandian, on the other hand, said coldly, "Just take it back first." He immediately raised his hand, and the huge black claws immediately dissipated. The big black dog's current strength is still far behind that of the venerable. Go-Suke also gritted his teeth and said, "Yes, catch it and bring it back to the family. It will naturally recognize its father." Immediately, a group of venerables took action. "Emperor, don't panic, we won't hurt you, please be patient and capture me, I will take you to find your father. Don't be afraid, we are all good people. Don't resist. It will be your supreme honor to return to the clan." A group of venerables all opened their mouths. When the big black dog saw this, his scalp went numb and he almost vomited blood. Wow, I have lived in this world for all eternity, and I have never encountered this kind of madness. It was trembling. If it was caught, it might be forced to hold it down. It would be as spotted mutt as its father. I couldn't bear it, I couldn't bear it. This emperor is afraid of you, you are a bunch of lunatics. The big black dog turned around, picked up Wu Date in his mouth, and ran away. "Chase, don't let the emperor escape. Catch him." Lu Quandui and others chased after him like crazy. Only Lu Kaling and Ao Wushuan were left in the field. Go quickly, it's too late, it's too late." At this moment, Ao Wushuan slapped his thigh and shouted, "It's not good. Damn, these venerables are indeed a bunch of scammers. Judging from just now, the big black dog, the cliff, and the demon emperor have nothing to do with each other. And this group of venerables actually dared to chase. Absolutely screwed up." He grabbed Lu Kaling and tried to escape. But at this moment, Lu Kaling broke away from his hand. "No. Ao Wushuan, I have to go there." Lu Kaling opened her mouth and said, "Grandpa Niu has also passed away, I have to save Grandpa Niu, and, I feel that the ancestral demon Stoneling has some fluctuations." She gritted her teeth and said, "I trust your intuition, but I have to go." Ao Wushuan was anxious and wanted to say something, but Lu Kaling waved his hand and restrained him in place. His cultivation level is far inferior to Lu Kaling. "Ao Wushuan, thank you." Lu Kaling looked at Ao Wushuan seriously, with sincere gratitude in her beautiful eyes, and said, "You are a good person, I should not let you come to the place you are most afraid of. This time, I'll go by myself. Good night." Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 635. Emperor, don't run away, we will take you to find your father. Why don't you even recognize your father? Your father is the emperor of the demon clan. You treacherous and rebellious son, we are not trying to harm you. Lu Quandui, Peng Zhenyi's, Long Tianbo and other venerables were chasing after him, shouting loudly and earnestly persuading him. They simply don't understand why this big black dog doesn't follow the path. You must know that it is a great honor to be reincarnated as the son of the demon emperor. If they are given the opportunity, they will be willing to be filial sons to the demon emperor even if they give up their current status as venerables. As a result, the big black dog actually escaped. What a loser! The big black dog ran away quickly with Wu Date in its mouth. Listening to the words of the group of venerables behind it, it almost wanted to vomit blood. Damn, I have never encountered anything so speechless and perverted. You can't fix it, the whole thing is just weird, very weird. Damn dog, please be gentle. Wu Date screamed in pain while being held by the big black dog. Finally, in the blink of an eye, I saw the small valley where Li Fan and the others were. The big black dog dived in. Back in the valley, the big black dog threw Wu Date on the ground, panting. Damn dog, it hurts me to death. Wu Date covered his butt and got up. At this moment, Li Fan and others in front were eating and playing. Dehei and the others are back. Lin Zhuzhan spoke, and everyone immediately turned their heads. Junior brother Dade, what's wrong? Why are you so embarrassed? How do you feel? Aren't you going to be hunted, lost, and hunted? Yes, where is the prey? Everyone spoke in confusion. Li Fan also put down his chopsticks and said, Dade, what's wrong? Wu Date immediately stepped forward and said, Master, we are being chased by dogs. There is a wild dog chasing Dehei. The dog seems to be a relative of Dehei. Hearing this, everyone was surprised. Junior brother Dade, what happened? Zhang Li sent a message to ask. Wu Date immediately relayed what had just happened. For a moment, everyone was shocked. A group of venerables? Dehei, the son of the demon emperor? This is outrageous. Impossible, absolutely impossible. In this world, there are still dogs who dare to take advantage of Dehei. Everyone had complicated expressions. Dehei was always the one who tricked others, but this time, he was actually being chased by others. An unprecedented first time. When the big black dog saw everyone's expressions, his eyes were filled with grief and anger. Woof 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 woof. It barked at Wu Date, as if he was scolding, how could he expose his shortcomings? But Wu Date did not answer. He said to Li Fan, Master, that wild dog is very ferocious, and there are other ferocious beasts that should be chasing him soon. After all, they were a group of venerables. Hearing this, Li Fan couldn't help but be startled, and his heart tightened. Wild dogs, wild beasts. It's over, I went out to play and forgot to bring my bow and arrows. He glanced at his group of disciples, but they were all powerless. Especially Yongzi, Xiling, Subakian, a group of girls, and even a child like Tianling. The beast is here, and it can't even run away. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Li Fan suddenly became extremely vigilant. However, although he was panicking in his heart, he remained calm on his face. Don't panic. Once you lose your composure, everyone will panic even more. By then, I'm afraid it will be even more difficult to deal with. He immediately stood up pretending to be calm and said, It's just a few wild beasts, don't panic. After saying that, he immediately stood up calmly and glanced around. He wanted to find a few big rocks to defend himself. After all, if it was a wild dog, it would be very effective to hit it with a bunch of rocks. However, around this grassland, there are at most some gravels. It's over, God won't help me. At this moment, at the entrance of the valley, the faint sound of dogs barking could be heard. Wild dogs are coming. Fight. Li Fan immediately picked up a few gravels. At this moment, everyone turned their heads and stared at the valley. In the next moment, a huge yellow spotted dog appeared at the mouth of the valley. Seeing this, Ziling, Nanfeng, Xuanhuan and others were all shocked. Venerable level. It's actually a venerable level dog demon. No wonder he can chase Dehei. Everyone was a little shocked. But at this moment, the yellow mixed-haired spotted dog landed at the mouth of the valley, but it also shook suddenly. What's going on? Why did I immediately show my prototype when I landed here? He felt that there was an inexplicable terrifying power in this valley. Just getting close makes me feel frightened and filled with fear. It was as if this valley was a forbidden place within a forbidden place. In fact, it can't even maintain its human form. No. It suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. Could it be that this was the place where the demon emperor once practiced? It couldn't help but look up. Then, as it looked ahead, it saw the emperor's son, a big black dog, with its head held high, looking at it with disdain. And beside the big black dog, there are many human races. At this moment, a young man suddenly walked out. The young man flicked his fingers, and a stone was shot towards Gosuke. No. Gosuke panicked instantly. This was not just a stone. This was clearly an unparalleled star, a world that one party could not bear. God, what kind of existence is that young man? Could it be the emperor? It trembled and was frightened. The next moment, the stone arrived as promised. Gosuke let out a scream. Woof! It instantly fell to the ground, its limbs were limp and its whole body was weak. It clearly felt that, all its cultivation and all its strength had been completely broken up. Not a cent is left. At this moment, Gosuke's liver and gallbladder were split apart, and he lay on the ground, whimpering, and was extremely scared. What kind of existence is that young man? Just now, that stone clearly seemed to be carrying the power of millions of universes. It even suspected that this stone could directly destroy the entire Yangjing. In the end, it just abolished its cultivation. This made it even more frightened, because it meant that at the last moment, the strong human race gave up his murderous intention and controlled the power that destroyed the world. The other party is, lifting a weight as lightly as possible. This kind of heavy weight is as light as a feather, has gone beyond the ordinary meaning, but lifts the power of the world as light as a feather. Has this being's control over power reached such a terrifying level? Gosuke simply didn't dare to think about it. And at this moment, in the valley, Li Fan was also a little surprised. When he saw such a big wild dog suddenly appearing, he was afraid that it would hurt innocent people, so he had no choice but to scare the wild dog with stones. After all, generally speaking, if a person throws something, the dog will be afraid. He felt that if he could scare the dog and make it stop moving, that would be the limit. After all, small stones certainly can't hurt such a big dog. But now, this wild dog was hit and actually lay on the ground motionless. Li Fan couldn't help but think. He suddenly remembered that when he was in the underworld, he once again shot a bear with a bow and arrow. In an instant, Li Fan suddenly realized. I am a practitioner at the first level of chi refining. How could you forget such an important thing? What is the concept of chi refining level? Even though in the world of cultivators, he is even lower than the weeds on the roadside, but for ordinary people, he is not an ordinary person. The power of the first level of chi refining is really strong. Once upon a time, you could shoot a bear with a bow. Today, a slingshot can hit a dog. Li Fan was instantly filled with confidence. At this moment, he was calm, completely calm, and not panicked at all. "Don't panic, everyone, it's just a little wild dog." He couldn't help but laugh easily. And at this moment, in mid-air, suddenly there was a bird call. A fat, big pheasant flew out of nowhere. Li Fan didn't hesitate. With his observation and agility at the first level of chi refining, he directly popped out a stone. Mid-air. What happened? Peng Zhenyi's, the venerable demon Peng clan, had just appeared, but found that he could not transform at all, and was affected by some kind of supreme energy. Before he could react, he suddenly trembled. A stone struck suddenly. Sky? What is that? Is that a sun? Is that a world? Is that a terrifying thing that can destroy the underworld? Even though it claims to be extremely fast and can travel 90,000 miles in a single flutter of its wings, it can't even think about escaping at this moment, and it doesn't dare to. Peng Zhenyi's let out a frightened bird call. Then, he was knocked directly to the ground. Cultivation is completely ruined. All power is lost. Shivering. In the valley, Li Fan succeeded again, and he couldn't help but feel very excited. Look at my level. The strength of the first level of chi refining is indeed far beyond what ordinary people can compare with. How lonely it is to be invincible at the first level of chi refining. He couldn't help but feel a little proud. And then, at the mouth of the valley, another animal appeared, a big green monkey. Li Fan didn't hesitate and shot out the stone bullet. The big green monkey Xuanhuan was dumbfounded, and all the hair on his body exploded. Then, he was hit and fell to the ground exhausted. In the stream flowing out of the valley, at some point, a big loach and a big black fish actually appeared. Astonishingly, they were the Reverend Long Tianbo of the Dragon Demon Clan and the Reverend Ao Daisy of the Demon Dragon Clan. Both of them looked confused, because after they entered this place, they were inexplicably suppressed into the water by some kind of force, and they couldn't even draw a human shape. Damn, what's going on? Who dares to plot against us? Long Tianbo roared angrily, rolled up water, and was about to rush out of the water. Next to him, big black fish Ao Daisy poked his head out like a carp. Then, two stones shot out immediately. What a fool! Long Tianbo was instantly shocked. His heart was trembling. Was this a devastating blow that would come out of nowhere? At this moment, he hurriedly wanted to shrink back into the water. But, he has no chance. Pebbles streaked through the air. A big black fish and a big loach were all hit instantly and floated on the water. They were probably dead. At this moment, a strong big green cow appeared at the mouth of the valley, just in time to see the scene. Its bell-like eyes were widened. Fear, all the limbs and hooves trembled. The Bull Demon King was completely panicked. There are still chapters to be written. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 636. In the valley. All the disciples were shocked when they saw this scene. Dumbfounded. Is this the master's strength? Long Xuanhuan was in a daze and said. In the blink of an eye, the venerable master knelt down. How powerful has he become, master? Nanfan looked at Li Fan's figure, lost consciousness for a while, and said. Is this the invincible demeanor of master? So what if he is an invincible venerable? He is just calm, suppressing it with a snap of his fingers. In her eyes, she seemed to be worshipping to the point of being unable to extricate herself. Master, this is the real master. In master's eyes, these sages may be no more than ants on the ground. Subakian also spoke in shock. Ah, master is really amazing. Zi Ling's big eyes were full of light. Although Lin Zhuzhan and Zhang Li were also shocked, they were a little calmer. After all, when they were in Xuanhuan land, they vaguely knew that the master's personality was probably not something that this small world could accommodate. The master is so powerful, Sister Zinning, the master is so powerful. Tianlinger was extremely excited, her little face was flushed, and she took Xianling's hand and spoke excitedly. Don't make any noise, or I'll beat you. Xianling opened her mouth. Tianlinger suddenly felt aggrieved and did not dare to speak. Behind Li Fan, Yun 11 was distracted for a moment, and suddenly felt a little scared in his heart. Wow, the big devil, it's so scary. At this moment, she suddenly remembered that she seemed to be the slave of the great devil. It's over. During this period, I was paralyzed by the gentleness and elegance of the big devil, and I forgot that he was an unpredictable and terrifying devil. The little deer in her heart was racing. Was she too presumptuous during this period? Uneasy. At this moment, Li Fan was extremely satisfied. Tisk. What is the first level of qi refining? This is the first level of qi refining. Dealing with ordinary beasts is no longer a problem. At this moment, he was suddenly filled with endless yearning for cultivating immortality. The first level of qi refining is so powerful. As long as you continue to upgrade, you can become stronger. Once you reach the golden elixir realm, you can fly in the air. Just imagine it, it's exciting. It's all because of this broken system, it's so ineffective. However, he didn't think much about it. It is a good thing that the crisis has been resolved at this moment. A wild dog, a big pheasant, a big green monkey, a big blackfish, a big loach. Then, Li Fan looked at the big green bull. That big green bull is trembling now. The bull demon king looked at the young man in the valley, his eyes full of fear. Go Suke, Peng Zhenese, Long Tianbo, etc. are all the top sages in the demon world. They join forces and the whole world will tremble. And now, what do you see? A young man casually dropped a few stones, all the venerables were destroyed. Cultivation does not exist. Is this young man an emperor? Absolutely. The bull demon king wants to run away, turn around and run away. Damn it, Gosuke is such a scammer. You've offended someone you can't offend. At the same time, he suddenly remembered that Cai Ling girl seemed to have said before that if he encounters trouble, he should follow them, especially Ao Wushuan. Looking back now, Ao Wushuan asked and discouraged many times along the way. It seemed that when he encountered the big black dog, he seemed to retreat quietly. The Cai Ling girl is so right. You should follow Ao Wushuan. He regretted it, completely regretted it. And he also noticed that in the valley ahead, the young man had picked up a stone again, seemingly about to take action. I will be destroyed too. The bull demon king is miserable. However, right now. Suddenly, behind the bull demon king, a little monkey jumped out. The monkey was covered in gold. At this moment, he appeared in front of the bull demon king and knelt down towards the valley ahead. The bull demon king was immediately shocked and said, "Linke girl." However, what it handed over was just the cow's cry, moo moo. The bull demon king suddenly became anxious. Why is Lu Kaling here? Shouldn't she escape with Ao Wushuan? No. It's over, if something happens to Lu Kaling. That monkey lineage has no descendants. He is monkey's sworn brother, and he must not let anything happen to Lu Kaling. He stepped forward with trembling hooves, and then, knelt down directly with Lu Kaling. Kneel down towards the valley. In the valley, Li Fan was about to throw out the stones when he suddenly saw this little monkey and an old cow kneeling down. He was suddenly surprised. How could these two animals be so intelligent? Could it be that he sensed the terrifying power of his qi refining level, so he knelt down and begged for mercy? Li Fan thought for a moment and couldn't help but stop. Since I am spiritual and have no intention of hurting anyone, I will let you go. Seeing this, Lu Kaling and the bull demon king were excited and extremely happy. This supreme being, actually let them go. Great, great. In the valley, Li Fan threw the stones aside, clapped his hands and said. Dade, Xuanhuan, Lu Rang, go and catch those wild pheasants, giant loaches, and so on. Wu Dade, Long Xuanhuan, and others were still a little distracted, but they immediately walked to the entrance of the valley and dragged the spotted dog, big pheasant, big green monkey, big loach, big blackfish, etc. into the valley. Master, what's next? Long Xuanhuan asked. Li Fan said. Next. Of course, you have to kill it quickly, skin it and put it in the pot. Didn't you see that there is nothing left in the pot? If you don't eat the prey that is delivered to your door, it will be free. Just haven't eaten enough yet. After hearing this, many disciples were shocked. Eat, sir. These are all venerable level existences. They had to be skinned, slaughtered, and used to fry the pot. To master, the venerable level is just food. Zhongli was confused for a moment. Master, he is really the man who stands at the top of the food chain. Ingredients are redefined. Gongya couldn't help but say, from now on, we can store venerable meat in the kitchen cold box. What are you waiting for? Let's get started. This is all good meat. Lu Rang's eyes were already shining. I can't even imagine what venerable level meat would taste like. Come on, let's get started. Dugu Yuking is also looking forward to it. And Qing Chen took action directly, grabbed the big loach and said. Stop struggling and let the monk save you. Immediately, a group of disciples also started working. After all, this was not the first time. Although I was surprised by the venerable level ingredients, I quickly returned to normal. Immediately, Gongya was busy descaling the fish, Dugu Yuking and others cut open the big loach, and Xiling and others stepped forward and plucked the feathers of the big pheasant. This dog asked me to make dog meat soup. Just thinking about it makes me greedy. Wu Dade rolled up his sleeves and was about to start. He was very happy. But before he could take action, the big black dog had already taken action. Ah! Wu Dade covered his buttocks and cried out in pain, saying. Damn dog, it's not like he's going to eat you, why are you so crazy? However, the big black dog bit him even harder. When Li Fan saw this, he couldn't help but smile and said. That's all, this dog, I won't kill it. So that Dehe won't be sad. Mainly, Li Fan felt that killing the dog in front of the big black dog would cause psychological harm to the big black dog. In livestock breeding, there are things to pay attention to. If the big black dog is allowed to see the same kind being killed, it will affect the big black dog's growth and fattening. That is not good. Hearing this, the big black dog stopped biting Wu Dade and looked at Li Fan wagging its tail. It felt warm in its heart. The master was so kind to him. Then, Li Fan glanced at the big green monkey again and said, Don't kill this big green monkey either. Although they are all animals, Li Fan has no habit of eating primates. Many disciples also nodded. Now the meat is completely enough. A big loach and a big herring weigh more than 10 kilograms each. So is the big pheasant, weighing 7 or 8 pounds. If you can't finish it, I guess there is still some left over. Everyone was busy preparing the food. Before long, the pieces of loach meat, chicken skin, fish fillets, etc. were all washed. Open the branding, continue. Li Fan said with a smile, and immediately everyone sat down and continued to fry the pot. The loach meat is so fragrant when it's roasted. Lin Zhuchen picked up a piece of roasted loach meat that was full of oily aroma and threw it into his mouth. It tasted so delicious. Such amazing ingredients must be enjoyed by me. The dust is also removed one after another. Sister Yungzi, Sister Nanfan, come on, let's eat chicken skin. Junior Sister Bai Jian said this is for beauty. Zi Ling spoke excitedly. Immediately, everyone was extremely happy eating. Next to them, Go Suki and Lu Quandui, who were lucky enough to survive, were already as if they were petrified and were shaking completely. I actually saw the venerable level with my own eyes, being used as food for cooking. They were frightened and fainted. Not far away, at the mouth of the valley, Lu Kaling fell into deep silence. Xuanhuan was so far-sighted. The big green bull's hooves were trembling, and he knelt on the ground and did not dare to move. He is praying. These gentlemen don't even think about eating beef. My meat is old, not tasty. Good night. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 637. Is the stone monkey statue you protect more important, or is your daughter more important? In the secret space of the West Heaven Brahma court, Brahma Patriarch smiled lightly, looking at Xuanhuan, as if he was looking forward to it, and said, "You are the guardian of the monkey statue, but you are also a father. This is indeed a difficult decision." And at the foot of the Five Elements mountain, Xuanhuan's eyes were about to burst, and his fists were clenched. He hated it to the extreme. Once upon a time, the ancestral land of the six-eared macaque clan was breached, and the top-secret place where the stone statues of the sacred monkeys were stored was almost captured by Brahma ancestor. In that battle, the six-eared macaque tribe suffered heavy casualties. His daughter also sacrificed her life. Now, he finally knew who his old enemy was. However, he is unable to take revenge, or even want to watch his daughter being humiliated in front of him. His heart was trembling, and anger almost burst out of his chest. However, nothing can be done. Tell the location of a top-secret place and send the stone statue of the monkey to the Vatican? No, he can't do it. That is a secret guarded by countless six-eared macaque tribesmen. That is a mission. But, watching his daughter being humiliated like this? How could? It seems like it's hard for you to make a decision. Patriarch Brahma sat on the 12-grade golden lotus platform, smiled and said, "Then, can I help you?" As he spoke, he flicked his fingers, and the ice coffin suddenly opened. Then, he waved his hand again, and two tall black apes suddenly appeared in the field. This giant ape's hair is extremely long, like long needles. It is 7 or 8 meters tall, and its shape is extremely ugly. You should recognize this creature. Brahmazu smiled and said, "The powerful lewd ape likes to kidnap human women and rape to death. In the past, you felt that this clan was an insult to the dignity of the demon race, so you once destroyed the ancestral mountain of the powerful lewd ape with a stick, making this clan almost extinct. I have too. I think they won't be too gentle towards your daughter, right?" Brahma ancestor waved his hand, and immediately, these two powerful apes walked towards the ice coffin. Feeling the breath in the ice coffin, they almost seemed to be going crazy, screaming and beating their chests, wanting to jump in immediately. No. Xuanhuan let out a loud cry of pain. And at this moment, in the world of ruins, there is a great wasteland where gods are buried. In the valley, everyone had a great time eating. It's not good, the power of the divine way contained in the flesh is too strong. Suddenly, the Qingchen aura grew wildly, and he felt that in the temple of the 5 internal organs, the divine power carried by the venerable flesh was refined and flowed through his body, pushing his aura to a peak. The peak of the God Lord. At this moment, Qingchen suddenly put down his chopsticks, and then closed his eyes. He was enlightening, and was impacting the realm of the Divine King. For a time, countless avenue fragments appeared around him. The Divine Lord domain that he had already formed was released, and a Sanskrit sound sounded. "The road leads to the sky." Qingchen shouted lowly. All kinds of sacred energy seemed to explode out of his body, causing his divine domain to explode, reconstruct, and expand. At this moment, his territory stretches for hundreds of thousands of miles. Moreover, his Shinto realm is full of changes, as if it is a world of its own. It is not just empty light and shadow, but a mysterious world. Lord God, Qing Chen, has entered the realm of the Divine King. At this moment, everyone was a little shocked. Senior brother Qing Chen has become a Divine King. Pervert, he has the most salvation among these venerable meats. I feel like I'm almost here, I need to eat more. The other disciples all had complicated expressions on their faces, and then continued to feast, eating so fast. Soon, Long Xuanhuan also let out a low drink after eating wildly. The dragon soul in his body erupted. The realm of Shenlong, heaven and earth, has further evolved. Step into the Divine King. One sword can conquer 100 miles. Dugu Yuking shouted low and used his finger as a sword. With one strike of the sword, hundreds of miles of void turned into nothingness. His invincible sword domain spans 100,000 miles, and with one strike of his sword, he is invincible within 100 miles. He imitated Li Fan and pressed the sky with one sword, and now he has gone one step further and can display the power of hundreds of miles. The god of swordsmanship. Nanfan was hit by the sound of the piano, and the realm of the piano was unpredictable. Behind Ziling, there seems to be a vast scroll unfolding, with the sky as the cloth, the stars as the ink, and the endless avenues. Lu Rang lay on the grass, letting the divine aura burst out from his body. A pot of grass was placed next to him, growing wildly. At this moment, a total of 10 leaves grew. Looking at the green leaves, Lu Rang smiled happily. The endless green grass on which he lay seemed to be gently bending his luggage in his direction. The god of Cao Dao. Zhongli has countless chess realms, but at this moment, he has evolved into the prototype of multiple realms such as the realm of life and death, the realm of black and white, the realm of yin and yang, etc. Since the last time he saw black and white, his understanding of chess has improved even further. Behind Lin Zhujian, there seemed to be a rushing stream of water, which made it difficult to look directly at him. It was as if he could order life and death with just a few clicks of his fingers, and he was supported by the endless terrain of creation. Subakian's field was also mysterious and unpredictable. It was now divided into two. One half was the endless field of magical medicine, which seemed to have unlimited vitality, while the other half was empty and mysterious. The realm of Xianning is complex, with golden words flowing like a chain of the original order of the universe, giving rise to endless worlds. There is a spring breeze blowing, and everything revives. The spring breeze in February is like scissors, and the vegetation sprouts. There is ice and snow, the desert is deep and cold, thousands of pear trees are in bloom, and they are covered in silver. There are killings that shake the sky, strong men fighting to the death, one general who has succeeded and tens of thousands of bones withered, and howling all over the land. A poem is a divine chain of order, deriving a world, and the entire field is like the evolution of the universe. In Gongya's domain, a pot of Dao stands above the heavens, refining the source of all Dao. And the most peculiar thing is indeed the realm of Yungzi, with the sound of the piano, the vast scrolls, and the flow of sword energy. Divine Phoenix is the companion, the real dragon is the background, and the ancient giant trees are also the background. It's so itchy, ah! Wu Dade suddenly also shouted. He was itching all over, and there seemed to be light leaking between his skin, with golden light shining everywhere, blinding the dog's eyes. At this moment, his golden body achieved its 8th transformation. Dead dog, bite me, bite me. He shouted at the big black dog. Seeing that the big black dog ignored him, he suddenly became angry and said, "One day Fatty will want to eat dog meat hot pot." Before he finished speaking, the big black dog bared his teeth. Ah, oh, that's what it feels like. Wu Dade's pain is mixed with perversion. Many disciples couldn't help laughing. Next to Tianling looking at the many brothers and sisters, she felt a little confused. She couldn't sense the status of Sister Zinning and the others. Generally speaking, all living things in the entire universe are under the gaze of heaven. But now, Tianling feels that Sister Zinning and their own domain seem to be a kind of heaven. Generally speaking, to realize the Tao God King requires God to grant the Tao fruit. Only by obtaining the Dao fruit can you gain the recognition of heavenly Dao, and then you can understand heavenly Dao, imitate heavenly Dao rules, etc. But Sister Zinning and the others don't need it at all. Tao fruit? Perhaps a piece of heavenly fruit is not as good as a watermelon seed. The accumulation of Dao in Nanfang and others has already reached a very terrifying point, and now the venerable meat is just a trigger for them to explode. It has formed its own realm of divine kings, comparable to the way of heaven. And Tianling couldn't help but notice that her aura was also quietly changing. The fourth origin, the yellow origin, is conceived. At this moment, the status of the Great Ruins realm has been further improved, directly reaching the Huangyuanheng realm. Next to them, Lu Quandui and Go Suke, who were lucky enough to survive, were completely shocked and looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. These people have attained enlightenment, and there is no need to seek enlightenment from heaven. There are two paths to Shinto practice. The first is to obtain divine gifts. Only by obtaining Tao fruits and other methods can we understand the Tao at a higher level. The other is to rely on oneself to find an unprecedented avenue, but it will lead to divine punishment. Even if someone has tried, it is only a flash in the pan and has perished. Now a group of people, all succeeded. This kind of character only exists in legends and has never really appeared. Now, actually appearing in groups. Has the unparalleled genius become a cabbage? Moreover, when they saw Tianling they were even more confused. Is this raising the spirit of heaven? Moreover, it seems that the status of this heavenly spirit is really low. They suddenly understood why such a remote star field could actually give birth to such a powerful eternal world. All this is because of that young man. Emperor. Does the emperor have such ability? They were so shocked that they simply didn't dare to guess. Li Fan, on the other hand, was also enjoying his meal and was currently frying fish for Xiaobai. While burning, he couldn't help but look at the big green bull at the entrance of the valley and murmured. I haven't eaten beef for a long time. It's a pity, this cow is spiritual and knows how to kneel down and beg for mercy, it can't do anything. Master, that little monkey seems to be related to rare animals. At this time, Qing Chen suddenly spoke excitedly. He took out the crystal piece and saw a faint light shining on the crystal piece. My family has been waiting for a long time. I was killed more than 10,000 times in the canyon today. It is so uncomfortable, I will update soon. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Goi Xin. Chapter 638. Hearing this, Li Fan was immediately surprised. The crystal piece did shine. This means that that little monkey is really related to rare animals. Li Fan couldn't help but stand up, looked at the little monkey outside the valley, waved, and said, "Come into the valley." Hearing this, Lu Kaling, who was kneeling at the entrance of the valley, was startled. Do you call this being yourself? She was extremely worried, but at this moment, she couldn't help but get up and walk towards the valley. When she walked in front of Li Fan and others, she knelt down and squeaked. Li Fan felt even more surprised. This monkey was really very understanding of human nature. Little monkey, don't be afraid, no one can hurt you. Li Fan thought the little monkey was cute, and immediately reached out and gently touched Lu Kaling's head. That is at this moment. West Heaven Brahma Court. In the secret place, in front of 5 Elements Mountain. Two tall and ugly black giant apes were approaching the ice coffin, howling like they were in heat. In the ice coffin, the girl in the golden dress seemed to be sleeping peacefully. Her 6 ears were small and cute, and her facial features were as delicate as works of art. Vatican ancestor, stop it! Zhang Sun's eyes were filled with hot tears and his fists were clenched. He struggled wildly, trying to protect his daughter. However, the 5 elements mountain pressed him down and he was unable to move. Are you anxious? Are you uncomfortable? Brahmazu sneered and said. Perhaps you are not so anxious and uncomfortable, otherwise, how could you bear to see your daughter being abused by these bastards? Tell me the location of the stone statue of the divine monkey, and I will give you a pure daughter. Brahma Patriarch's face was so cold and ruthless. He stared at Zhang Sun and shouted. Explain. Otherwise, I will let your daughter be ravaged to pieces today. His voice was as loud as a bell, and he used supreme magic power. No matter how determined you are, you may collapse at this moment. However, there was only despair in Zhang Sun's eyes. He smiled desperately. I'm here to see how stubborn you can be. Brahma ancestor's face was extremely cold and he waved his hand. Suddenly, 2 black giant apes jumped into the ice coffin. A human tragedy is about to happen. But, right now, in that ice coffin, some kind of secret power suddenly appeared on the girl's body, and it was released instantly. Ah! The 2 powerful apes screamed and were directly wiped out by that secret power. Not even a drop of blood is left. When Zhang Sun saw this, he was stunned. What's going on? Brahma ancestor was also shocked for a moment. He looked into the ice coffin with surprise and uncertainty in his eyes. What a good person, you still have some strength left to protect your daughter. But today, can you protect me? He shouted coldly, and immediately, the supreme Brahma light and sacred aura rushed towards the ice coffin. He wants to use his emperor-level cultivation to erase all the power in the ice coffin. However, when his Brahma Deo energy invaded the ice coffin, vaguely, the secret power circulated, as if there was a faint hand stroking the girl's hair. In an instant, a ray of energy spread. Countless golden Brahma lights were completely dimmed, and the energy and power of Brahma ancestor disappeared into thin air. No. Brahma ancestor was shocked. At this moment, he felt as if he had seen a ghost and turned pale with horror. His figure disappeared directly from the place. The next moment, he appeared in the void 900 million miles away. Brahmazu's face was covered in cold sweat, and his hands were trembling slightly. Then, what kind of chi machine is that? He spoke fearfully. Just for a moment, he felt, as if he was facing a supreme master, who could kill him to pieces with just one thought. Therefore, he ran away directly, escaping for 900 million miles first. Impossible, how could there be such power in the world? That girl is obviously dead, her soul is gone. What kind of existence is protecting her? It's like a taboo that cannot be violated. Brahma's heart felt like a huge wave had set off. No. That kind of power exceeds the limits of Shinto. In the entire world of the underworld, there are only things left behind by the 10 gods and spirits that surpass this kind of power. He was thinking, but greed appeared on his face. How great the danger is, how great the opportunity is. What does he want in life? Isn't it the eternal way that transcends the divine way? Now, I finally feel the aura of that level. He immediately drove the lotus platform and headed towards the 5 Elements Mountain again. And at the foot of 5 Elements Mountain, Zhang Sun looked into the ice coffin, his eyes filled with shock. Is this the power from the lower reaches of the years? It whispered, and at this moment, it suddenly remembered that story. Thousands of years ago, a clone of Brahma broke through the ancestral palace of the 6-eared macaque clan. The 6-eared macaque clan suffered heavy casualties. When there was no way out, his daughter sacrificed her body and rushed towards the downstream of the years. A story and a heavenly waterfall were sent back, which saved the entire six-eared macaque clan. That story was the source of why Lu Shushi embarked on the path of Jaxing soon. In the Great Ruins realm, in the God Burial Wasteland, in a small valley, Lu Kaling knelt on the ground and felt the young man's touch. She was extremely excited. At this moment, she felt as if she was enveloped by some kind of divine word, as if the indifferent words of this being had become the supreme decree throughout the ages. She vaguely felt that she had received some kind of opportunity. This little monkey, I seem to have seen it somewhere. At this time, Qing Chen couldn't help but speak, stepped forward to look at the little monkey, thought for a moment, and said, "Defu Star Realm." When Lu Kaling heard this, she nodded hurriedly. Lu Kaling had met Qing Chen once before in Defu Star Realm. At this moment, she hurriedly kowtowed to Qing Chen. When Li Fan saw this, he couldn't help but smile and said, "This little monkey, is he really spiritual? A monkey worshipping a monk? It reminds me of a story." Hearing this, Xiling looked at Li Fan curiously and said, "Master, what's the story?" Li Fan thought for a while. Everyone had almost eaten at the moment and had nothing to do. He might as well tell them a story to relieve their fatigue. Immediately, he said, "Once upon a time, there was a mountain called Huaguo Mountain. On Huaguo Mountain, there was a stone. One day, the stone exploded and a stone monkey was born." He immediately told everyone the story of Journey to the West. Journey to the West is well written, the story is interesting, and the image of the monkey is even more attractive. At this moment, as Li Fan narrated, everyone was listening with relish. The monkey went to the East China Sea, asked for treasures from the old Dragon King, got a suit of clothing, and also took away the Dingai divine needle of the East China Sea. And the Bull Demon King and 6 other important monsters, they became 7 brothers and called themselves the Great Sage Kishan, while the Bull Demon King was known as the Great Sage Ping Tian. The monkey didn't expect that he was just by Mawen, and in a fit of anger, he caused trouble in the heavenly palace. The Jade Emperor was so frightened that he hurriedly invited the Buddha from the west. The monkey fought with the Buddha from the west. The Buddha was extremely cunning. He tricked the monkey into his palm and bet that the monkey could not fly out of his hand. The monkey flew to the horizon and saw 5 sky pillars standing upright. He immediately urinated under one of the pillars and left the words, "The Monkey King is here for a visit." Li Fan spoke very quickly and skipped many details, but it was still very interesting and everyone was fascinated. The monkey was finally trapped under the 5 Elements mountain. When Li Fan said this, he felt a little thirsty, so he immediately picked up the tea and took a sip. "Master, what happened next?" Xiling asked curiously. "Monkey, has he come out?" "Yes, Master, the monkey is so powerful, it won't be killed by Dan Fuziu, right? The Monkey King is so powerful. He can definitely come out again, right?" Other disciples also asked Li Fan about the story behind him. Li Fan smiled and said, "The monkey did come out later, and a monk rescued the monkey from under the 5 Elements mountain." Having said this, he looked at the little monkey next to him and said, "The monkey then worshipped the monk as his teacher." Hearing this, everyone breathed a sigh of relief, and they were all quite happy to hear that the monkey had escaped from the 5 Elements mountain. "Master, what's behind?" Nanfan asked next. Li Fan smiled and said, "The story behind is quite long, let's update it here first." Immediately, no one asked any more questions. But Lu Kaling was in a trance at the moment, completely lost in thought. Behind her, there suddenly seemed to be an invisible space of time and space emerging. Now, at the foot of 5 Elements mountain, Brahma Patriarch reappears. "Old Brahma, you can't harm my daughter, ha ha, ha ha ha." Seeing Brahma Patriarch, Zhezing soon burst into laughter. His eyes were so happy and he said, "My daughter has her own protection. Even you can't do anything." Hearing this, Patriarch Brahma sneered. "If I'm not wrong, the power to protect her comes from the monkey consciousness in your clan's top secret place, right? That is my eternal way. Today, even if you take risks, I want to see what happened in that battle thousands of years ago, and where you hid the top secret place after that battle." Brahma Patriarch was extremely determined. Under his seat, there was a 12-grade golden lotus platform with divine light flowing. At this moment, he used his great magic power to travel back in time and space. The light fell on Zhezing Sun, and Zhezing Sun was immediately drawn into this great technique. In an instant, both Zhezing Sun and Brahma Ancestor seemed to have entered another world. Brahma Ancestor recreated the scene of the Great War thousands of years ago. It is a hidden mountain, and several powerful six-eared macaque clan sages guard this mountain gate. And today, a mysterious existence destroyed the mountain gate with a snap of a finger. Who attacked my clan's ancestral land? Among the six-eared macaque clan, there is a most powerful venerable person who rises against the sky to meet the enemy. However, that mysterious existence was too powerful. The divine light fell and each of the sages fell. Ancestor. A six-eared macaque in its prime rushed out. Looking at the dead ancestor, he was filled with jealousy. This monkey is clearly the grandson of Zhezing in his prime. His name at this moment is Lu Shushi. In the sky, the mysterious existence sneered and said, "Hand over the stone statue of the sacred monkey, otherwise the six-eared macaque clan will be completely destroyed." A cold threat. No matter who you are, you can't get your hands on the guardian stone statue of our clan. If you want a stone statue, step over our corpses. Among the six-eared macaque clan, endless loyalties rise to the sky. There are demon kings, demon lords, and even some are just young celestial demons, etc. However, that mysterious existence was too powerful. Countless strong men of the six-eared macaque clan died and their souls were scattered. Brother. Second uncle. Lu Shushi felt heartbroken as he watched his relatives die one by one. Escape, Xiaoxi, you are the strongest genius in our clan, escape, escape, only then can you have a chance to survive and get revenge. An old venerable man, whose body was cracked and dying, wanted to push Lu Shushi away. But Lu Shushi said sadly, "No. The monkey god once said that it will return. I can still fight against the heavens. Why is our clan going to suffer such a disaster today? I don't accept it, I don't believe it, I won't accept it." Lu Shushi spoke word by word, his eyes turned red, and he said, "My clan should not be destroyed, my clan should not be destroyed. I want to burn everything and take a look downstream of the years. I don't believe it." He burned the essence and blood, and his eyes glowed with blood. "Ha ha, looking down the river of time." The mysterious existence sneered, and with a snap of his fingers, it seemed to have locked all the laws of heaven and earth. "If I don't allow it, you can't watch it? He is on top?" Lu Shushi was almost completely suppressed. "Father, let me go." At this moment, a girl in a golden dress came out with all her strength. She sacrificed her life, and her soul merged into Lu Shushi's bloody eyes, staring down the years. God Burial Wasteland. Small Valley. Lu Kaling seemed to be stunned, her eyes were blank, as if there was a trace of blood. And behind her, a mysterious space and time appeared. A supreme mysterious being is slaughtering, dominating everything in the ancestral land of the six-eared macaque clan. When Qing Chen saw this, he couldn't help but frown. He vaguely sensed something. He suddenly lifted up the tea that Master had just drank and poured it towards the mysterious phantom in that space and time. "You are obviously destined to die." Brahma Ancestor stared at this piece of time and space, knowing that his clone had killed the entire six-eared macaque clan and was defeated. Why did we fail in the end? Zhezing soon said with a ferocious smile. Open your dog eyes, don't be scared to death. Brahma Emperor sneered. It's ridiculous. I am invincible in this world, what else can scare me? But, the next moment, his hair stood on end suddenly because he saw the scene from that battle thousands of years ago. Brahma Ancestor's clone is already invincible in heaven and earth. However, a space and time suddenly appeared, and in that space, a terrifying waterfall burst down. The clone of Brahma Ancestor is right in the middle of it? No. The clone of Brahma Ancestor let out a shrill scream and perished directly in front of the terrifying waterfall. It was at this moment that the real Brahma Patriarch turned pale with fear. He hurriedly restrained his magic power. Suddenly, the time and space thousands of years ago disappeared from before his eyes. He and Zhezing soon both returned to the Five Elements Mountain. Brahma Ancestor's whole body was trembling. His head was covered in sweat and his eyelids were twitching. That waterfall seems to have flowed through the ages. Horrible. The one who can destroy the emperor. Even though he was looking at each other across time and space, he still felt heartbroken. At this moment, seeing the scene from thousands of years ago again, Zhezing soon was also in a daze. In that battle, his daughter was sacrificed and went to the lower reaches of the years. What came back was a terrifying waterfall. And a quick story. This is the truth of that battle in the past. What kind of existence is there in the downstream of the years? It murmured, this was the eternal question in his heart. It definitely surpasses the emperor. The waterfall that day is even more rare to see in the world. It can be called a miracle. Suddenly, the six-eared macaque sniffed, frowned, looked at Brahma Ancestor in front of him, and said with disgust. Old bald donkey, are you scared to death? Long chapter, good night, I'm going to the canyon for revenge. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 639. The Great Ruins Realm. God Burial Wasteland, in the valley. Qing Chen, Nanfan and other disciples were all looking behind Lu Kailing. At this moment, Lu Kailing seemed to be connected to another world. It was a piece of time and space, I don't know when and where it happened. Among them, a mysterious being was killing the six-eared macaque clan, but just now, Qing Chen poured a cup of tea into it. In that space and time, the figure of the mysterious existence was directly drowned. She is a shadow from the past time and space rushing towards today. Zhang Li spoke solemnly. Yes, she came through the secret power of time and space, and just for a moment, she connected to the time and space she was originally in. Du Guyuqing also said. When they were in the underworld, they all personally witnessed that the existences in the upper reaches of time rush into the future and take advantage of the opportunity of this life. For example, black and white, Ji Xuanhuan, Zhang Shui, etc. Therefore, at this moment, we can directly determine the whole story. On the side, Lu Quandui looked at the scene in front of him, as if he had seen a ghost. No. Impossible, the battle of life and death in the clan. It was actually rewritten because of today. His eyes were full of fear, he looked at Qing Chen and said. The clone of Brahma Ancestor was destroyed simply because he accidentally poured a cup of tea from the lower reaches of the years. Lu Quandui trembled. Because, their lineage has already taken refuge in the West Heaven Brahma court. The stone statue of the guardian god of the six-eared macaque clan is a great secret. How does the West Heaven Brahma court know about it? It's because of Lu Quan's lineage. It's over. Our lineage thought that by joining the Brahma court, we could embark on the eternal path and dominate the world. Now it seems, the road is broken, all broken. At this moment, Lu Quandui felt, the sky was falling. Who would have thought that there would be such a powerful existence in the lower reaches of time? That young man can destroy the emperor with just a cup of tea. How strong does he have to be? I'm afraid everyone will have to kneel down when Brahma ancestor comes. He was desperate, completely desperate. As for Lu Kaling, it was as if she had just woken up from a big dream, her eyes filled with disbelief. Just a moment. She clearly seemed to have returned to a time and space in the past, lonely and familiar. She saw another self, sacrificing her body, using her soul as a medium, and rushing into the future. A certain kind of memory that has been sealed for countless years suddenly surges like a river and sea. I was his daughter. Sacrifice yourself and rush into the future, to save your people. At this moment, she completely awakened. She is the daughter of Zhezing Sun, the soul rushing towards the downstream of the years. And just a moment later, she heard that story, that legendary story. In the upper reaches of the years, the mysterious enemy that almost wiped out the entire six-eared macaque clan was extinguished by today's pure dust in the lower reaches of the years with a cup of tea. She was shocked. Looking at Li Fan, Qing Chen, and others, she felt unparalleled excitement. It turns out that the reason why the six-eared macaque clan was able to survive the catastrophe, and the reason why that person in the clan was able to rise against the odds. All because of today. Take the Dingai divine needle from the East China Sea and refine it into an iron rod, force the 6 great lords of the demon clan to sworn relatives, make a big fuss in the heavenly palace. The one in the legend of the 6-eared macaque clan, her father, the reason why he accomplished those deeds that are recited in the demon world is because of today. She couldn't help but kneel down to Li Fan. When Li Fan saw this, he couldn't help but smile. Did this little monkey understand the story he told? It's really cute. Here, some fruits for you to eat. Li Fan grabbed 3 plums and handed them to Lu Kaling. I went out for a picnic to make hot pots, so of course I brought some fruits with me, and I happened to have some left at the moment. Seeing this, Lu Kaling was even more excited. This being, actually wanted to give him a chance. Trembling, she took the 3 plums. Feeling the divine aura billowing in the plums, she was shocked again. These were 3 heaven-defying divine fruits. It was just a piece of fruit, but it made her feel that it contained the entire world's great laws. She suspected that even the most elite being in the world would bow down and ask for these 3 fruits. At this moment, this senior actually gave me 3 coins. This is a heaven-defying opportunity. Li Fan then stood up and said, "Let's go back to the village first. We've almost eaten and it's time to go back." Li Fan was in a good mood, so he went out to have a meal, and he was lucky. It was as if someone had delivered goods to his door. Large loaches, fish, large pheasants, etc. all came, and he could eat for a few days. Moreover, traces of rare animals were also found. "Pack your things and go back to the village." Immediately, many disciples packed their things. "Wait me a moment." At this time, Yun 11 suddenly spoke. She turned around with her pen and wrote 6 Juanjuangzi characters on a stone next to her. "Yungzi is here for a visit." After finishing writing, Yun 11 happily said, "Let's go." Li Fan couldn't help but smile. He remembered that he was ignorant when he was a child. After watching the TV series Journey to the West, he liked to imitate Monkey King and wrote so and so came here for a trip everywhere. And Lu Kaling was even more shocked when she saw these 6 words. These 6 words. At this moment, it was reflected into the space and time behind her. "I understand, the so-called ancestral demon stone token is just a counterfeit." She completely woke up and looked back at the time and space behind her. At this moment, that piece of time and space has slowly disappeared. I saw this sentence while traveling down the years, and this sentence, through my eyes, was transmitted back to the previous years and space. Perhaps my father, or other masters of the six-eared macaque clan, carved the so-called ancestral demon stone token based on the characters they saw in time and space. She understood it completely. The so-called ancestral demon stone token is just a counterfeit, but the real thing is right in front of you. This girl wrote it impromptu. She was stunned to the point of numbness. Go Suki and Lu Quandian were stunned again. This is simply outrageous. The demon clan's once famous ancestral demon stone token is said to be a treasure that can destroy the world once activated. It turned out to be an imitation of the line downstream of time? Outrageous, too outrageous. What kind of existence did I and others encounter? Let's go. At this moment, Li Fan spoke. Immediately, everyone stood up and left the valley. Qing Chen said to Lu Kailing, "Come with us." Lu Kailing didn't know where they were going, but followed them obediently. When they reached the entrance of the valley, Lu Kailing walked up to the big green cow, spoke to the big green cow, and gave all the plums in his hand to the big green cow. The big green cow also mooed a few times. The monkey and the cow have such a good relationship. Li Fan was even more surprised. As expected, it is related to rare animals, so spiritual. But he didn't pay much attention and left with everyone. After a long time. After Li Fan and others left far away, in the valley, the Bull Demon King felt that the inexplicable pressure had disappeared. He immediately transformed back into his human form. I changed back. The Bull Demon King was so excited that he almost cried. Recalling the scene just now, he was extremely happy. Thanks to the spirit Kailing girl, otherwise I would definitely be branded. In the valley, Go Suke and Lu Quandui also recovered their human forms, but they were old and almost dead. Because all their cultivation skills are gone. Brother Niu, take us to escape quickly. They begged to the Bull Demon King. But the Bull Demon King's face turned cold, and with a wave of his hand, he immediately collected the two of them. Then, he walked towards the valley, knelt down deeply towards a stone, and worshipped. That's the area where Yun 11 wrote. Yungzi is here for a visit. After the Bull Demon King paid his respects, he cherished the stone and put it away. Then, he turned into a gust of wind and left. Not long after, he appeared in a forest. In the woods, a middle-aged man is looking sad. It's over, old cow, little monkey, I've hurt you. Xuanhuan was extremely sad. At this time, the Bull Demon King and Lu Kailing must have been eaten. He was filled with grief and anger, and was ready to go all out to save Lao Niu and Lu Kailing, but Lu Kailing was imprisoned in place and could not move. However, at this moment, a gust of wind suddenly blew. The Bull Demon King suddenly appeared on the scene. The Bull Demon King. Xuanhuan was immediately excited. Is Lao Niu not dead? Where's the spirit collecting girl? He asked quickly. The Bull Demon King waved his hand and released Xuanhuan from his imprisonment. He said. Don't worry, Xiao Ao, Cai Ling is fine. She left with the big black dog. Before she left, she asked me to come find you. Let me bring you this. The Bull Demon King immediately took out 3 plums. This is a divine fruit given by a senior. Cai Ling asked me to leave 2 of them for you. The Bull Demon King looked a little complicated, and he could feel that this fruit was absolutely heaven-defying. But the girl Cai Ling left her share to Xuanhuan. Xiao Ao, it took a lot of hard work to collect spirits, you can't let it down. He couldn't help but pat Xuanhuan. Although this young man's level is very low, fortunately he has talent. Moreover, his ability to observe the situation and sense danger are rare in the world. If you work hard, you may not be worthy of the princess of the six-eared macaque clan. But Xuanhuan was stunned when he heard this. Lu Kailing was taken away by the villagers. He suddenly remembered that in the underworld, there were also foreign animals that were taken away by small mountain villages. At that time, he was forced by the demonic cow clan to lead the way. At that time, the demonic cow clan was completely wiped out, but a big black cow was left in the village to plow the land. Lucaling is a little monkey, and he can't do any work, so why bring him back to the village? Do the people in the village like to watch monkey shows or something? Thinking of this, Xuanhuan broke into a cold sweat. He knew that circuses were very cruel when training animals to perform and other things. They would whip animals, starve them, etc. Lucaling is having a hard time this time. She asked Lao Niu to bring the treasure back to her, and she worked so hard, she was asking for help from herself. Xuanhuan gritted his teeth, took the 2 divine fruits, and said, "Senior Niu, Xuanhuan, understand Miss Cai Ling's hard work. Don't worry, Xuanhuan, will fight with this village. I'm leaving first. One day, I will come back to save her." After saying that, Xuanhuan walked away without looking back. Bull Demon King. Not long after, Li Fan and others finally returned to the small mountain village. Seeing the small mountain village in front of him, Lucaling felt as if he had seen a supreme sacred place. She had the urge to kneel down and worship. Trembling, he followed Qing Chen and others into the small mountain village. As soon as she entered, she discovered that there was a plum tree at the entrance of the village. Full number of divine plums. She was shocked. Such a precious tree was rare to see in the entire world. Moreover, she also saw that at this moment, a middle-aged man was carrying a sack and picking plums to eat under the plum tree. The middle-aged man looked quite shabby, and his clothes were all patched and tattered. At this moment, he was picking through the plums on the ground. He threw away the ones that were about to rot and only picked the good ones. At this moment, Lucaling felt that her worldview had been impacted. Such a heaven-defying divine fruit actually rots here. Can even the rag pickers in the village be able to pick and choose the magical fruits? She suddenly felt that as the princess of the 6-eared macaque clan, she was the truly shabby one. Then, along the way, Lucaling was shocked to the point of numbness. In this village, a piece of grass can kill the venerable. A sewer, the water in it feels higher than the grade of the divine spring. Not long after, they arrived at the Wuerxianting courtyard. Lucaling was even more confused. She originally thought that the visit to Yangtze River written by the girl in the white skirt just now was already the top of the road, but now she saw the 4 words unparalleled leisure court. She could no longer imagine the state of that senior. Open the door and return to the small courtyard. Gongya put the cooking utensils and other things away one by one. "Master, let me go find rare animals." Qing Chen immediately took the initiative to ask for help. Li Fan nodded and said, "Good. Nowadays, 7 species of rare animals have been found: wolf cub, pony, blackfish, golden bull, red bird, turtle, and unicorn. There are only 2 left. The golden elixir realm is getting closer and closer. However, although this little monkey is related to rare animals, it is difficult to find clues." Li Fan couldn't help but speak. "This little monkey can't speak. How do you know? What's the clue between it and the rare animal? I'm afraid, it's also hard to find." After hearing this, Lucaling's heart moved. Is this senior looking for rare animals? Although she didn't know what the rare animal was, she thought that it must have something to do with her father. She hurriedly spoke, but she could only make a monkey's squeak sound. Unable to speak, she had to raise her right hand and point to the bright red blood line. Li Fan couldn't help but wonder when he saw the little monkey like this. He looked at the blood line on the little monkey's hand, and thought, the bloody line on this monkey's hand looks like it was strangled by a rope. Could it be that this little monkey has been tied up? Escaped? Li Fan suddenly realized that he had figured it out. Why was this little monkey so spiritual that he would kneel down when meeting him and others? Obviously, it should have interacted with people before, being trained to kneel and so on. Therefore, when seeing himself and others, this monkey would kneel down subconsciously. Only in this way can it make sense. As for training monkeys to kneel down, only those in circuses can do it. Li Fan knew that circuses were very cruel when training animals to perform, including whipping animals, starvation training, etc. This little monkey had a very sad life in the past. Now, this little monkey holds up the signs of abuse. Does it want to tell itself a clue? Could it be that the rare animal was also caught by the circus? Li Fan couldn't help feeling slightly cold when he thought of this. He has always despised mistreating animals for personal gain. Let's go together, I'm afraid we'll have to go through some troubles to save the monkey. He had roughly guessed what was going on. The circus was crowded with people, so if Ching Chen went alone, he might not be able to handle it. Hearing this, all the disciples were overjoyed. Good. Just wanted to practice my skills. They were all looking forward to it. They had just broken through to the realm of the Divine Lord and needed to fight to test their strength. Immediately, everyone was a copycat. Ching Chen picked up the broom and was about to leave, but suddenly he felt an inexplicable fluctuation. He couldn't help but look towards the firewood pile on one side. In the firewood pile, there was a pitch-black fire stick. Ching Chen thought for a moment, then immediately stepped forward and brought the fire stick. Let's go. I stayed up all night last night and slept all day today, so I was late. I will never play games again from now on, rubbish games ruined my youth. Good night. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 640. Soon, a group of disciples took the little monkey and left. When they reached the entrance of the village, the little monkey subconsciously glanced at the plum tree at the end of the village. There are still a lot of plums on the ground, although they are almost rotting, they are also divine fruits. She felt that even if only the cores of these sacred fruits were rotten, they would still be unimaginably sacred things. These are the leftovers from the rag picker. It should be that no one wants them, right? It's such a shame that it's rotting away like this. It would be nice if I could take it away. It will definitely benefit the whole family. When Ching Chen saw the little monkey looking towards the plum tree, he suddenly smiled and said, "Want to eat plums?" As he spoke, he walked over, picked several, and handed them to Lu Kailing. Lu Cai suddenly became excited. He actually got such a great opportunity again. In this small mountain village, unparalleled opportunities and worldly treasures really seem to be free of charge, are they given casually? Not long after, they finally left the small mountain village and met the waiting bull demon king in a woods. "My dear benefactors, the spirit-picking girl, you are here." The bull demon king saluted excitedly. Until this moment, Lu Kailing suddenly changed back to human form. It turns out, this little monkey is a great beauty. A group of disciples were all a little surprised. But they were not too surprised. After all, they were already used to it. For example, Cat's sister, even though she has a peerless appearance, a stunning figure, and is the most beautiful woman in the country, she can only act like a cat when she is with the master. Thank you, benefactor. Lu Kailing saluted Ching Chen and others. Now, she has completely understood everything. The six-eared macaque clan is preserved because of these benefactors. No need to be polite. Ching Chen smiled and said, "Who are you? Where are you from?" Now, they don't know anything about this little monkey. "My name is Lu Kailing, and I am from the six-eared macaque tribe in the demon world." She immediately told her life story, from the time when the six-eared macaque clan was massacred by mysterious powerful men 1,000 years ago, To when Zhezing soon was suppressed at the foot of Five Elements Mountain. I have been looking for the ancestral demon stone token before, but now, I know that it turns out that the ancestral demon stone token is a counterfeit. She looked at Yongzi and said. The story told by Senior Li and the lines written by you, sister, are reflected in the years of thousands of years ago, creating a supreme legend. Hearing this, all the disciples were surprised. Master told a story that actually created a supreme demon king thousands of years ago. The person who has the opportunity to meet Master must be a destined person, he should be related to rare animals. Yes, it seems that person's grandson is the key to our search for rare animals. Everyone spoke. It seems that this is another move by the master, everything is according to his arrangement. Zhang Li's eyes were full of admiration and he said. Everyone, do you still remember that master said that in the sequel of the story, a monk rescued the monkey at the foot of Five Elements Mountain? He looked at Qing Chen and said, Senior brother, this is the mission given to you by Master. Everyone nodded. It turned out that everything had already been arranged in the story Master told. Master's overall situation has been laid out thousands of years ago. By the way, why were you chasing this damn dog before? Wu Dade said curiously. Are you really sent here by his father? As soon as Wu Dade finished speaking, Dehe spoke directly. Ah, don't bite the dead dog, be gentle. Wu Dade tried his best to open the dog's mouth, but the big black dog bit him so hard that he couldn't break it open at all. When Lu Kaling saw this, he was also a little afraid of the dog and said in a low voice. Because, the demon emperor of the Tengu tribe is coming back from the legendary ruined and lost land, but he is blocked by something and cannot return. The Tengu clan contacted the demon emperor. The demon emperor said that he had to find a big black dog to save him. And the venerable Tengu clan believes that the big black dog the demon emperor mentioned should be related by blood to the demon emperor. Moreover, the demon emperor once fell in love with a black princess. She finished in detail. So that's what happened. Everyone understood, no wonder Dehe was being chased before, and suddenly a group of people jumped out and wanted to find Dehe's father. How could they not feel embarrassed? The big black dog, upon hearing this, also relaxed, stared at Lu Kaling and said. Is there something coming back from the broken lost land? Its dog eyes were filled with solemnity, and he said, it seems that the insect from the underworld has really transmitted its message to the broken and lost land. Previously in the underworld, the giant-eyed ghost king in the dead land had thought about the demon emperor, the reincarnation emperor, the devil emperor, etc. At that time, the big black dog had already figured out that it was a strange creature, manipulating it secretly and taking advantage of the thoughts of Lord Ghost Eyes. Dehe, the broken and lost place, what is that? Nanfeng and others asked in confusion. This was the first time they had heard of this place. It seems that it must be important to have something to do with strange creatures and so on. The big black dog said. A cut-off road, the cemetery of countless worlds, and the last barrier in the world of the sun. Everyone was shocked, this place sounded terrible. Barrier? You mean, the world of the sun is facing some kind of threat? Zhang Li thought about it, Dehe's words revealed some kind of information. Of course, otherwise, why do you think the 10 of you died so completely back then? The big black dog didn't hide anything and solemnly said. The world of the sun is the last pure land, with the only white mist fire, once discovered by those ghosts, it will cause huge disasters. Even if that road is cut off, they may not be unable to find it. Wu Dade rubbed his buttocks, but said carelessly. What are you afraid of? There is a master. Even a huge disaster can be contained. He is very confident. However, the big black dog had worried eyes and glanced at Yun 11 subconsciously. That was a despairing disaster. Even she, who once stood side by side with her master, fell, and returned after rebirth. Whether the master succeeded in quelling the rebellion, is yet to be determined. This life will be even more tragic. The black dog murmured and suddenly said, "Wow, no, I have to go take a look first. Little monkey, lead the way to Tianyuan Star Realm." Lu Kaling nodded and set off immediately. On the way, Lu Kaling suddenly looked at the Bull Demon King and said, "Grandpa Niu, is Ao Wushuan gone?" The Bull Demon King looked a little complicated and said, "Let's go, that kid ran so fast." And at this moment, Tianyuan Star Realm. Ao Wushuan was so fast that he finally came back. Looking at the Tianyuan Star Realm ahead, Ao Wushuan gritted his teeth and said, "This evil little mountain village, Lao Ao, will fight with you." He quickly rushed to the Demon Emperor Mountain and shouted, "Something bad has happened. Something happened to Master Go and the others." Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 641. At this moment, Demon Emperor Mountain. 3 white-haired old men were already waiting anxiously in the main hall. "Why did Venerable Sui Kai's soul lamp go out? What on earth is going on?" These few are the real secrets of Demon Emperor Mountain. They are all at the venerable level, and the leader among them is a yati. Their lives have almost come to an end. They will not appear at all on weekdays. They are all sleeping and in retreat. But this time, the stakes are high. The Demon Emperor was about to return. Go-Suke went to look for the Demon Emperor's son, but he died. They had to leave the border. The return of the Demon Emperor is of great importance. Suichi died at this time, which is so strange. The first venerable person spoke, his name was Go Densi. "I don't know what the situation is like for other venerable demon tribesmen. Now, we can only wait." The other 2 venerables, Go Dengfeng and Go Denjiao, also looked solemn. "Report." At this time, a loud shout suddenly came from outside the hall, saying, "Reporting to the 3 venerables, the human race that led Venerable Go-Suke and the others before is back." Hearing this, the 3 old sages were all startled and stood up hurriedly. "Quick, bring it in." Soon, a middle-aged man walked into the hall. "What's your name? Did you take Suichi and the others to find the emperor? What happened?" Gaudensi asked eagerly. This middle-aged man was clearly Ao Wushuan. At this moment, when he saw the 3 venerables, his heart tightened subconsciously. "No, you can't be nervous, you mustn't be nervous." He took a deep breath, kept calm, and said, "3 venerables, we have indeed found the emperor's son. That's a big black dog, and it's definitely related to the demon emperor." Hearing this, the 3 venerables were even more surprised. "Have they really found it? Then why, Sui Kai's soul lamp went out and he died?" Go Dengfeng spoke. Ao Wushuan said, "Venerable Qi, with Venerable Qi and the others, they discovered a place of great opportunity. That place contains the relics of the divine phoenix, the treasure of the true dragon, and is filled with all kinds of sacred treasures of creation, and the laws of heaven and earth. Follow Venerable Qi and the others to find a great opportunity. I don't know why he died. Maybe there is some danger in that place." Ao Wushuan said, even breaking into a cold sweat. "Damn, can you not be nervous about telling lies in front of 3 venerable bosses?" However, no matter how nervous he was, he had to keep talking. On the way here, he had already thought of a plan. Ao Wushuan, I'm going to do something big this time, and let that evil little mountain village know how powerful I am." He secretly made up his mind. When the 3 venerables heard this, they were all surprised. A place of opportunity? Divine Phoenix relics, true dragon treasure? How can this be? Those things are just illusory legends in the entire world. Is what you said true? Go Denjiao looked suspicious. This Ao Wushuan, didn't look very reliable. Oh, the land of the divine phoenix, the true dragon treasure? Please tell me in detail. Go Densi spoke coldly. He didn't believe it either. Xuanhuan gritted his teeth and said, I would like to inform you all, that place is located in the 49th star territory, in the Orange Source Eternal Realm. It is a small mountain village. There are various treasure trees, sacred grass, and even mud growing in the village. Here's the ultimate treasure. Several venerables followed that big black dog, followed the emperor's son, into the small mountain village, but they didn't come out. I thought there was something wrong, so I ran back to report the news. I'm a good person. He's a nervous one. Hearing this, Go Densi sneered, and suddenly two beams of light shot out of his eyes, staring at Xuanhuan. He wants to search Xuanhuan's memory, so that he can know the whole story. However, when his eyes fell on Xuanhuan, he was suddenly startled. He clearly found that Xuanhuan was like a fog, and he couldn't see clearly. Xuanhuan was also startled at this moment. He felt, as if he was being spied on. It's over, are you telling lies, are you about to be discovered? This time it's dead. No. I, Xuanhuan, am not willing to give in. I haven't escaped that evil fate yet, I haven't rescued the little monkey yet. Xuanhuan struggled. He closed his eyes and tried to construct a picture in his mind. Go Densi was wondering when suddenly, vaguely, he saw a picture. It was a small mountain village in the middle of barren mountains. There was a phantom of a phoenix floating across it, the roar of a real dragon could be heard, the grass was everywhere, the fallen flowers were colorful, and the sacred fruits were falling everywhere. Immediately afterwards, in front of the small mountain village, a big black dog kindly led Gosuke, Luquandui, and others into the small mountain village. Seeing this, Go Densi was immediately shocked. This is truly a land of opportunity. Just now, after hearing what Xuanhuan said, he felt that this guy was just talking nonsense, who knew that it was actually true. The phantom of the divine phoenix, the roar of the real dragon, and the endless divine grass and fruits, etc. Look at his sea of consciousness. At this moment, Go Densi was very excited. After hearing this, Go Denjiao and Go Dengfeng also immediately used their magical powers to check the scenes in Xuanhuan's memory. Then, they all saw the same scene. Shock, disbelief, and then, ecstasy. Oh my God, this is really a place of opportunity. Go Denjiao spoke excitedly, I feel that there may be hope of becoming an emperor in it. There are so many treasures in it. As long as we can get a piece of fruit or a blade of grass, we can all live a second life. Go Dengfeng's heart was surging and he said, Big brother and second brother, we can't wait any longer, the opportunity is right in front of us, we must go immediately. The three of them withdrew their magical powers. Go Densi looked at Xuanhuan and said, Young man, lead the way. They couldn't wait. When Xuanhuan saw this, he breathed a deep sigh of relief, and there was a feeling of exhaustion in his brain. At the same time, he was also lucky. Unexpectedly, he actually got through. This luck is amazing. Three venerables, I think it's too early to go there now. Xuanhuan opened his mouth and said. After all, something happened to that place, even Master Suichi and the others, even though there is great opportunity, there must be danger. When Go Densi and others heard this, they couldn't help but nodded. Indeed, even Gosuke and others had troubles, which is enough to show that that place is not simple. You mean? They asked Xuanhuan. I suggest that we unite all the powerful people in the demon clan to find out. Xuanhuan looked calm, scolded Fang Qiu, and said. When the time comes, it won't be wonderful to welcome back the emperor's son and occupy the blessed land. From then on, the demon world will unify the world of the sun, and the names of these 3 generals will go down in history. Hearing this, the 3 venerables were all moved in their hearts. In this way, there is indeed a lot of insurance. But in this case, wouldn't the opportunity of that place allow others to get a share of the pie? Go Dengfeng is unhappy. Ao Wushuan shook his head and said, "It's smaller, the layout is smaller. In that place, not to mention the 3 of them, even the entire demon clan would probably not be able to enjoy it all. The 3 of them are the sages of the imperial clan. This time they are in charge of the leaders of the demon clan and strengthen the demon clan. This will strengthen the 3 of them. Power. The time has come. With the opportunity of the most precious treasure, the 3 of you can choose as you please and claim the title of emperor and ancestor. It's just before your eyes. And the demon kingdom you rule thousands of miles will also get a share of the pie. The entire demon clan will be even more powerful than the god's domain. Isn't this beautiful? It should be noted that those who achieve great things don't stick to trivial matters." Ao Wushuan's words were so passionate and powerful. After hearing this, the 3 venerable Gaudensi couldn't help but be shocked. They were simply impressed with this Ao Wushuan. What this kid said makes sense. Go Dengfeng couldn't help but speak. "I didn't expect that this person would have such knowledge. He is absolutely extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary." Go Denjiao couldn't help but speak. He was vaguely impressed and a little admired. Go Densi stepped forward, patted Ao Wushuan on the shoulder, nodded and said, "Well said. Young man, I will make you the holy son, and on behalf of my clan, I will go on missions to the Dragon Demon clan and others, and unite with other powerful clans for my clan. Are you willing?" When Ao Wushuan heard this, his heart exploded. Damn it, it finally made sense. This ideological work is really difficult to do. With a sincere look on his face and tears in his eyes, he said, "Don't worry, Your Majesty, this time, if we can't unite all the tribes and conquer the small mountain village together, I, Ao Wushuan, will never be a human being." Gaudensi nodded. Although this young man was from the human race, the more he looked at him, the more satisfied he became. He is knowledgeable, he has ideas, he dares to fight hard, he is enterprising, the key is that he is loyal to the Tengu clan. I can't find it even with a lantern, so why don't you hurry up and win over me? This is the 7th transformation divine pill I refined. Taking it can enhance your strength. It can be regarded as a greeting gift. He took out a pill and handed it to Ao Wushuan. The elixir seems to contain endless divine power. Ao Wushuan became even more excited. What's the benefit? Come, let me look at your legs. They seem to have endless power. I give you this venerable level sword. When you fly with it, you can penetrate the galaxy in an instant. This heavenly dog roaring moon art is one of our clan's treasures. You can practice it first. Immediately, Go Denjiao and Go Dengfeng also gave treasures. Thank you, 3 venerables. Ao Wushuan accepted them all and said, I, Ao Wushuan, will definitely repay the great kindness of the 3 venerables. 3 venerables, if you wait for my good news, I will go. He turned around generously and walked out of Demon Emperor Mountain. The Tengu clan is done, next, let's go to the Dragon Demon clan. Ao Wushuan's eyes were full of light. Xuanhuan village, no matter how evil you are, I, Ao Wushuan, will compete with you this time. He's only an Hung, I don't believe that the entire demon clan can't defeat you. This is his big plan. Join forces vertically and horizontally to unite the demon clan and kill them together. This may be the only way to save the little monkey. Thinking about it, he took out the venerable sword he had just obtained, and walked with the sword. In an instant, he left the Tianyuan star realm.